Welcome to the Mind Basketball Podcast, also known as the M.O.B Podcast, episode 110. I'm Evan.
I'm John.
Inside Basketball Podcast, we recap, break down, and analyze players and teams from previous games from the previous day. First things first, before we get into the, how are you doing, how am I doing, all that. We have a TikTok now. Finally got a TikTok, trying to be more active on social media. So it's links down in the description. Go follow it. We're going to be posting daily on that. Clips from here, also just bonus clips, short things, any extra, just conversations that we have, stuff like that. So go follow it. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun. A lot of our heated debates is going to be on there, all that. So, yeah. Now, Ja, how are you this Tuesday?
I'm cool.
Just cool.
Yeah. Nothing really to get all hyped or jumped up or excited about.
Why not?
For what?
It should be something.
It should be something. Nah. It will never be anything. It will never be anything. It will just be regular.
I'm doing great. I hope everyone's having a good day. I hope everyone will have a good day. You say there will never be anything. Why wouldn't there? When some lucky guy just scored 49 last night. Let's get into it. Warriors and the 76ers, and man, Stephen Curry, the most lucky player in NBA history. That man just had it going. I mean, geez. With all that luck, how can he score?
Oh, yeah, there's joy in buckets, man. Joy in buckets.
You just gotta keep saying it. Stephen Curry was the story of the night. 49 points. Also breaking Kobe Bryant for the oldest player to have the most consecutive 30-point games at 33 and having 11 straight 30-plus point games. Man, 10 3-pointers on the night. He was giving everybody on that team buckets, including his brother. It was sensational from the greatest player that the greatest shooter that we ever seen play this game.
Yeah, you see that luck. You see that luck got to your head. That luck got to your head. Calm down. You see, I tell you, lucky man. You got you saying things like this. He got you saying things like that.
Don't do that. You're trying to bring him down now.
Nah. You see, he got you making mistakes. You about to say the greatest player we ever. Excuse me.
Hey.
Now we can start a debate about that.
Why?
You remember how, you try to how you wanted to start a debate when I said he got lucky, and now you wanted about to say,
but see, that was a mistake. All right. See, now you go. You're trying to bring Curry down. No, not today. Not today.
Them down.
This is not today. 49 points. He has been doing it all for this Warriors team on a consistent basis. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about his impact on this team. Let's talk about what he's been doing for this team. Let's talk about the performance that he's been giving night in, night out. Not for just 11 straight games, but this entire season. Let's talk about it.
He's been legendary. He's been legendary with luck on his side. You know what I mean? And
you're a hater.
I'm joking.
You're a hater.
I'm joking. Nah, yeah. He's just been on a different level. He's been playing out of his mind. He's been playing legendary. But yeah, it's Stephen Curry. But here's the thing I want to say. I don't know if he was gonna go into it or whatsoever, but
you can.
Even though people talk about it a little bit and he's in the discussion, I think he needs more hype for MVP. He does need a lot more hype for MVP.
I'm with you 1,000%.
I know we got a lot of, this is probably the closest MVP race we had in a long time. A lot of players are in this conversation. You talk about, obviously, the player who he faced against who had a great game, Embiid. Talk about Jokic. You talk about Braun, even though he's out. You talk about Dame. You talk about Luka, individual talent. But yeah,
Giannis,
Harden,
Harden.
KD, Kyrie, the big three in Brooklyn. But like,
Not KD, he's been hurt too much.
Yeah, KD's been hurt too much. But Steph deserves a lot of praise right now for being in that MVP conversation.
Well, I'll give my opinion on that. I believe, now I understand he should get more praise, but to give him the MVP at this point, them being that low, it'll be weird. But I say this: if he gets the Warriors to the 7th seed, he's my MVP. If he gets not to the 8th seed, the 7th seed. If he gets the Warriors to that 7th seed, and I know, the 7th seed and the MVP not really a thing. That's why there's only been like one player to win the MVP when they even been outside of the top 3, and that was Russ when he was the 6th. When him and the OKC Thunder was 6th seed because of his historic year that he had, with triple-double that first year. But the things that Curry has been doing, it can't go unnoticed. It cannot go unnoticed. He's been putting in buckets night in and night out. And I understand that, yes, he's been hurt, so maybe that might dock him a few.
Yeah.
And along with the fact that his team is at 500, can't really be at 500 and be the MVP, But that's why I said he somehow gets them to the 7th seed. They're 2 games behind the Mavericks. It will be a tough task, but I just feel like he should be deserving of that MVP.
Yes, he should be. And most definitely, obviously, like we just said, he has all right to be in that conversation also. The only thing I am going to say is, though, like, I'm sorry, but I have to say this is stat for everything. Like, really talking about how the fact he passed Kobe Bryant up as the oldest player. Like, come on now. Like,
don't do that. They've been consistently bringing that up for a while now. Don't do that.
I don't care. This is stat for everything, man. Like, oh my God.
Of course, there's a stat for everything, but you gotta pick. Some stats mean a lot more than certain other stats.
Yeah, that's understandable, but still,
you didn't have to deep dive for this stat.
Nah, you didn't.
All right, so let's give this stat the credit it's due. 11
oldest
straight.
The oldest? Let me stop. Like, you have to go that deep with age?
And he's the oldest player on that Warriors team.
He is the oldest player. Oh, yeah, he's older than Draymond.
Oh, yeah. But we did a lot of talk about Curry. So let's talk about this game, Ja. You can talk about this game and how it went. Curry had this great performance, but wasn't a blowout, really.
Nah, it wasn't a blowout. It was actually a really close game from start until those last moments of the fourth quarter. Again, just like what I said, MVP'd, or how you say it?
MVP.
Yeah, MVP. Like, he was balling out. He was just doing what he has to do. Leading this team, talented big man. I know you said he was giving his brother buckets, but don't go away from the fact that Steph was giving him buckets in the beginning also too. Like,
what I mean? Steph was showing up. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they was doing it out in that first quarter. It's Curry even Steph, he had a difficult time starting in the first minute. So, you got to give him a lot of credit. But this Philadelphia's team, they still close. It wasn't really that much of a high-scoring game compared to how the NBA is today. But the things start to change the moment Curry just started catching fire within those closing moments, really. So you got to give both sides a lot of credit. But yeah, Steph Curry's the man.
Yeah, Steph Curry's the man. Sixers kept it close, had themselves a good game, but just couldn't stop Curry's eventful night. He had the dagger 3 to close out the game, and as a result, the Warriors beat Philadelphia in Philly. But all right, on to the Jazz and the Lakers game, and yeah, the Jazz won.
It is not enough to really say about that.
Well, I mean, Conley and Gobert came back, so you know the result.
Of course they did.
And Jazz basically had to go from start to finish. Balanced offense, balanced defense. They just had the better team out there. against this Lakers team. Lakers team is struggling, and yeah, no need to really go too deep about this one. Jazz just had it.
Yep.
All right. Well, there were some amazing games around the league from last night. So let's get into it. Which one first?
Bulls versus Celtics. You just Bulls get the least entertaining out of the three out the way. Like, you know.
But still entertaining.
It was still entertaining. It was still entertaining. The Celtics had the advantage. They started off well. They had the advantage for majority of that first half, but then the Bulls, they start to find their flow, find their stride after having, like, you know, a struggling start, and that's all because of Nikola Vucevic, who basically was, like, you know, the leading man for this team throughout the duration of the game. And Tatum didn't have the best of performance. He had a triple-double, but he, in terms of scoring, he didn't really have much right in that category. He honestly had a struggling game from a scoring standpoint.
Yeah,
from everything else, but from a scoring standpoint, he just didn't generate that output that we usually expect. And the Bulls start to catch wind. They started to catch wind, and then that fourth quarter happened, and then they eventually found themselves getting into it. You know what I mean? And it became a game from there. And, man, the Bulls were able to close it out. They were able to close it out right then and there.
Yeah, and in shocking manner, Bulls upset the Celtics team, who were playing great basketball, snapped their 6-game winning streak. Celtics get a small pass due to the fact that Kemba Walker and Marcus Smart were both injured and out for this game, so they didn't play.
Yeah.
Which clearly had an effect on the outcome. But credit to the Bulls team getting this win. Maybe they can use this to kind of, you know, get in and solidify that play-in, because right now they are battling with Toronto and Washington.
Yeah.
So they kind of need to step it up. This Vucevic trade hasn't been working for them. But maybe this is the start. He's been playing great, but they haven't been winning. So maybe this is the start of something.
Again, sayonara, Bulls. Just wait until next season. Try it again. Run it back. But But yeah, they can still fight. They still got some time. They don't got a lot of time. Sometime.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into these overtime thrillers.
Yeah. The next game I'd like to talk about is the Bucks versus the Suns. And this was actually, like, you know, a high scoring, really close game. Nobody really got off to an advantage, really. I think the highest point difference is probably like 7 or 8. And let's just say, both teams had it going. Both teams had it going offensively. But then I'm just going to fast forward straight to the fourth quarter. Middleton was able to get a big bucket over Mikal Bridges to give the Bucks the lead. And then, but yeah, Devin Booker, the Suns give their to give the Bucks the lead, and then Devin Booker gets the ball, the best player for the Suns, and as a result, he's able to get a step back jumper. I don't remember who's guarding him, but he was able to get a step back jumper in order to tie the game. Chris Middleton, the Bucks get it back on the next possession. Chris Middleton just throws it up at the 3, air balls, going to overtime, and then it was a duel from right then and there. Man, was the exchange of buckets. Connaughton and Tucker came up with Connaughton and Tucker came up with 2 big threes in order to give the Bucks the advantage, in order to tie back up the game. And then CP3 hits a difficult shot over Middleton. It was such great defense draped all over him. Yeah. So Chris Paul ties up the game, and I believe the Bucks did come back on the next possession, but then the Suns were able to
Bridges,
right? Bridges.
Yes.
The Suns then make a 3 from Mikal Bridges.
They take the lead. They're up by 3.
Yeah,
they're up 5 seconds left.
They're up by 3, and I believe it was
Middleton.
Once again, Middleton was able to tie up the game. Then a controversial situation happened right here. Devin Booker with the ball. gets to a spot in the 3 in the corner. Drew Holiday fouls him, and
fouls. It could be fouls him or fouls him, depending on
but
the
how you look
interpretation.
at it, they get a foul. They get foul. He goes to the line. He makes one free throw, purposely misses the other, and the time runs out.
Yep. And as a result of this high-scoring back and forth affair, the Suns pick up the overtime down to the wire win.
Yeah.
Oh what God. A game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot, especially the OT. I mean, just back and forth, shot made. I mean, it was just making shots. Paul, Middleton, Booker, Bridges. I mean, man, what a game. Also, before we go on to the other overtime thriller or multiple overtime thrillers, shout out to Chris Paul as he passed Magic Johnson 5th all-time on the assists list. I mean, what can you say? Point guard, pure point guard, poor point guard, one of the few pure point guards in today's game. He's just sensational. He's been sensational throughout his whole career in terms of passing the ball.
Oh, yeah, man. Point guard for a reason. You know, one of the most purest playmakers and one of the best pure playmakers of our generation.
Yep. So, shout out to Chris Paul. One of the best passes we've ever seen. All right. Yeah. Now, if Ja's connection don't mess up, on to the next game.
I knew you saw that happen. The next game I'd like to talk about is obviously the Grizzlies versus the Nuggets, and let's just fast forward on this one. Memphis had an advantage for majority of the game, and then the Nuggets came back, storming back. Mm-hmm. Will Barton was able to make a big 3 to cut their deficit to 2.
The thrill.
Yep. And the Nuggets found some way to tie up the game. Mm-hmm. John Morant coming down the floor, he sees Grayson Allen wide open for the 3, but with a contest, he misses, and as a result, they go into overtime. Overtime was also another battle in which it was a little bit of Jokic. Well, it was like a back and forth exchange with the teams within that first overtime period, but Jokic was coming up with big shots, and then John Morant had an opportunity to give them the game winner, and yet he changes his shot up in midair.
Tries to.
I don't know. I don't even know what you call that, but
he thought he was at the park.
Yeah, it's just some crazy. Like he thought he was in a dunk contest or something. I don't know what it was, but he tries to get some kind of putback dunk after changing his shot midair, but yet, of course, doesn't go out, and then you go into the second overtime. And then the Nuggets just took care of business from there. It was still close, but the Nuggets basically took over. And then once again, because of Jokic and Will Barton coming up big, and the Nuggets were able to seal the game, coming from being down big with this Grizzlies team, always having the advantage for most of the game, with PJ Dozier hitting some clutch free throws.
Yes. Finally, some players hitting some free throws. And, Jokic with the dagger 3 late in that fourth quarter to take the lead. The Grizzlies had a chance down after that, but they missed. And then, as a result, the Nuggets win this thriller double overtime game. Jokic, 47, 15, and 8. My goodness. Ja, 36, 8, and 12. What a game by the Stars, and also the supporting cast. You mentioned Grayson Allen, Will the Thrill, Will Barton, who stepped up big time for them. Yeah, this was just a wonderful, wonderful game.
Yeah.
But all right. News. I don't think there's any news.
Nope.
So let's just go into the predictions for tonight's set of games. Only a short, small lineup, but hopefully they'll be interesting. Starting off with the Magic and the Hawks.
Hawks.
The Hornets up against the Knicks.
Knicks.
And now that I just realized there is some news, it is expected that LaMelo Ball will be making his return after being cleared from his injury, and he will be making his return not in the Knicks game, but within the next 7 to 10 days. That is great news for the Hornets. Great news for the Hornets. Great news for ESPN as well. And especially for the Hornets, since they're trying to get into the playoffs. And what?
And get the rookie of the rare race.
He's missed a good amount of time, and that's what you care about. I haven't thought about the rookie of the year in a month.
I know. But now it's coming back since you brought him up.
Listen, if he comes back, he's only playing 10 games? Yeah.
But then he has time to solidify it, because don't forget he had a great nothing. Forget it.
I'm gonna tell you something. Nobody cares about that right now. He's trying to make the playoffs right now. Nobody cares about that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry.
Oh, all right. But yeah. LaMelo returning in the next 7 to 10 days, so great news for the Hornets. But he won't be playing against the Knicks, thank God. I got the Knicks. First primetime game of the night, TNT 7:30. The Brooklyn Nets, no KD, left thigh contusion, still wants to be safe. Steve Nash and the Nets want to be safe with him. But they will be going up against the Pelicans.
The Nets. Hey, both New York teams got to beat them. Some kind of miracle, right?
They're not even playing in Barclays. They're going to New Orleans.
Yo, a New York team got to beat them, right?
Hey, I got the Pelicans. I think they upset. Maybe pull us off. Just Kyrie, and Joe Harrison Green. So maybe let's see if Pelicans can win this one.
Look, I'm going to go with a hot take right now. Blake Griffin is going to have a great game. A great game. Over 20. Over 20. I'm calling it. Hot take. Well, that's a hot take. Well, that's a hot take. You know that's a hot take.
I don't think that constitutes as a hot take. Also, I see your edits that you put on the videos, right?
Yeah, I know you did.
That agree to disagree. That counts as a hot take. What? Hold on. Don't play with me. You better show these. You better show these here, so you know what I'm talking about.
Show what?
Those edits. Like I watch the videos.
I know you do.
So he's like, actually, this does count as a hot take. Well, I think this is a hot take. Well, we could agree to disagree.
Well, we could agree to disagree. We could talk about it after the pod. Don't worry. You can talk about it after the pod.
I don't think that's a hot take.
So you telling me that you expect the Nets to sweep?
No. I don't think that's a hot take. If the Nets are fully healthy, KD, James Harden, Kyrie, against the Heat team who has been struggling recently and who might not be healthy.
Okay, but if they're both healthy though, and I'm talking about if they're all on the floor, are you telling me that the Heat can't even get one game? That they're gonna get that they can't get at least one game? They gonna get swept? That's not a hot take.
So you're telling me your definition of a hot take is the difference between a 4-0 sweep or a 4-1 series win? You got to be kidding me.
But look, bro, they're too good to make a team sweep them. I know what the Nets got, but they got to at least get one game.
I agree.
That's the reason why I'm saying it's a hot take, because it's just like, even though they might lose, they're not going to get swept.
Okay.
You don't see it like that. Oh, you see,
hey, agree to disagree. well, I can tell you one thing: Blake Griffin score over 20 is not a hot take. But hey, again, agree to disagree. Next up, doubleheader, TNT primetime game, 10 o'clock. The Los Angeles Clippers going up against the Portland Trail Blazers. What you got?
Los Angeles. They've been if Dame is playing, then Dame is going to probably have a difficult game, because they have been finding ways to keep that man looking like he going to Cancun.
Well, I don't know if Dame is playing. But yeah, I got the Clippers as well. And lastly, them boys, the Timberwolves, going up against the Sacramento Kings.
Minnesota.
Sacramento.
I don't care about the win. I don't care about the win from last game. I don't care. I got Minnesota.
Listen, yeah, I got the Kings.
You remember the last time when you went for them? What happened?
But yeah, that was in the hopes of me thinking that they will actually make a playoff push. They have no chance. They're not going to make a playoff push now. So I'm just predicting. All right. Well, I think it's time to wrap things up. Any final thoughts?
Agree to disagree.
By the way, thanks Chicago for beating the Celtics. As a Knicks fan, really appreciate that.
So that came with a lot of luck, right?
No, Mark Smart. Well, I guess you win this turn. You win this round.
Nah, I really want to know why do you think that like the Heat getting swept is not a hot take, but I can understand, obviously the Heat winning the 7 is a hot take, but I don't know why you think the Heat getting swept is not a hot take. Like, you expect, like, not that you expect it, but you feel like they're more likely to get swept instead of winning at least 1 or 2 games.
Listen, just it's KD, Kyrie, and James Harden.
Well, that's
just
what I've been saying.
Alone. Now adding Joe Harris. Now adding Jeff Green. Now adding Claxton. Now adding DeAndre Jordan. Now adding Blake Griffin. Come on, Bruce. I'm always gonna say Bruce Bowen.
Crazy how you go with It's crazy how you go with the realest hot take of the fact that they're gonna win in 7, but yet you don't even have faith in them to win at least 1 game against a Nets team, even if they lose a series. Isn't that kind of weird?
Yeah, maybe it's a hot take. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe you're right. Right.
I'm just like, wait, that sounds weird to me. So wait, you have faith in them winning in the 7-game series in 7 games.
It's a hot take for a reason. You don't really.
Yes, I understand that. I know. But yeah, I'm just like, if you have that kind of faith and confidence in believing that, then why can't you have faith in them losing the series, but yet at least winning 1 or 2 games within that series that they lost? Like, it just don't look right to me. I'm looking at it weirdly. I'm like, whoa, it just don't make no sense.
All right, fine. I concede. I agree. Not to disagree. I just agree. You're right. I guess the Heat getting swept is a hot take. But I don't think you think that's going to happen. So you just wanted to do that just because I have a hot take. If I didn't have a hot take, you wouldn't even think about saying that. No. My point is why.
I swear. No. I'm just saying, though. Like, I swear I did not go with your route because of the fact you had a hot take. I was going to have a hot take. No, it's not none of that. I'm just saying, though, you got to think about it, though. Even though the Nets are over them, obviously, way over them, this Heat team is still too good, have a lot of chemistry, have a lot of experience. They've been to the finals together. They have a lot of history together, in which I don't think they're gonna make. No, I don't care who they playing against. They're not gonna make somebody you just sweep them like that. They got to get at least 1 or 2 games. Again, people didn't expect. Just look at the adversity they came from last year. People didn't even expect them to even be past the second round, let alone the finals. So you can't lose this much faith. And they added Victor Oladipo. So that just makes it more tough.
I'm not losing faith. I got them to win in 7. I'm the only one that has faith. Let's go Heat. What you talking about? Come on, man. You're the one that's lost faith.
I didn't lose faith in them. I just said that I don't see them being the Nuts.
Hey, just keep down them. That's all I gotta say. Underdogs. That's what they live for. That's what they live for.
Yes.
They don't want to be praised. They want to be hated on. They want to be doubted.
Yes. Okay. Yes. But the fact that you like, you know, that you really try to like the things that you just say sometimes, like you try to put JB like Jimmy over KD is like kind of crazy. I'm just like, is it? I'm not looking. You didn't say it physically, but
for the last time, this is not Blacktop. If I went on Blacktop, I'm picking Kevin Durant over Jimmy Butler. This is the Miami Heat up against the Brooklyn Nets. The Miami Heat, I believe, in a 7-game series, will win in 7 against the Brooklyn Nets. Not Jimmy Butler beating Kevin Durant. I don't think Jimmy Butler will beat Kevin Durant. That's why it's not 1-on-1. And this is why it's a hot take. Because a hot take is unlikely to happen, or a lot of people won't agree with it. But it's a hot take for a reason. You don't have to agree with it. Just know that I'm going to be right at the end of the day. Let's go Heat.
Yo.
So with that being said, thank you guys for watching today's podcast. Make sure to tune into tomorrow, crap. Wow. Make sure to tune into tomorrow's podcast. Agree to disagree. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
And also follow Adri and our new TikTok down in the description below.
Yes. And once again, I'm Evan.
I'm Juju.
And
I'm Ja.
Juju?
Yeah, sorry. That was my mistake.
It's like a mom talking to a 5-year-old kid. Hey, come here, Juju. Hey, come on, Juju. Come on. Juju. Yeah, leave that for off the podcast. That nickname for off the podcast. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm Evan. He's Juju. And this was the Mind Basketball Podcast. Bye, Juju.